Kintalin Shimbatis, Kintalin Village, Bishabel Bashkabeti, Kaheka Chanshi Katik, Tushane Chanshunanka, Tushana Chala.
I'm Valerie Solheim, and professionally I started as a Jungian psychologist, which is depth psychology and dream psychology as you know it. And then the bees dropped in. In the research I did on the bees, and using, let's just call it basically sound therapy to keep the bees at their highest peak and potential, where they can then take care of their own environment inside the hive for parasites and disease. What's exciting is that bees are 200 million years old without evolving, and entomologists call them a superorganism because one bee left out in nature for 24 hours is a dead bee. They all need each other. And bees, as all colony insects, locate their hives and nests over geopathic stress zones. Now these zones are stressful for us, but not for these insects that are very compacted and into a very small space with thousands of members. And what they need then is that energy field that will keep them at their highest potential with the least amount of work. And so initially I'm just going to talk about the science here. I have the Starburst, which is a copper twisted tool with rays, and it's clipped to the fall CD, which is this one right now since we are in the fall season. And what this Starburst does is it generates that field that we're not keeping the bees in. We're not keeping the bees. Generally, beekeepers don't keep their bees over geopathic stress zones. And so we have to compensate for that and create the greatest comprehensive, coherent field that we can for them. And that is just in a nutshell how to take care of the hives. And since 2009, when I started beekeeping, I've not lost a hive to disease or parasites. I've lost them to mice, frozen out one year, and to smoke from a forest fire, and a wind blowing one hive over. For 10,000 years, the honeybee, and there are many different kinds of bees, so this one in particular is the honeybee. The honeybee has been worshipped as the Great Mother or divine intermediary. In this place, she is not worshipped for her honey, her propolis, or her wax. She is worshipped for the frequency of the hive. And it literally says this in the Vedas, in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, in the Mayan codices, and in the pictographs that are left behind in caves, where they will show in the cave that ancient man has taken the time to create a cave with painted honeycombs. And so they're not going in there to drink mead. They're going in there to recreate this space of the hive wherein the frequency is the healing principle. And in the Vedas it says something of the nature, now I become a bee. It's the priestess or goddess Baharamari, now I become a bee to heal and clear the land and to anoint and heal my people.
Kintalin Shimbatis, Kintalin Village, Bishabel Bashkabeti, Kaheka Chanshi Katik, Tushane Chanshunanka, Tushana Chala, Bashkubeti, Chalulak Emean Itino, Chanshunanka, Kahoko Hat Kabi, Uwapi Kabina Charhe Kachanshi.
Well, what I was finding throughout my research, I was playing the CDs constantly because I thought I needed to project them through sound out to the hives. So unwittingly, I was entraining myself to the bee frequencies, and what I found was all sorts of healings going on in my body. And what I'll speak to now is the spring CD, which it sounds like water. It's 100% females in the spring. The queen is laying up to 3,000 eggs a day, and what it turns out to be is really good for the flow of our body and in our intestines. And just as a testimonial, here in Boulder there was a bacteria or virus going around where people were having intestinal problems, diarrhea, headaches. And one person called me and said, which CD should I use? Well, I don't know. I just said, the spring is water and intestines. Put the CD on headphones, put it on your stomach, and do that as frequently as you'd like. And she called me about an hour later and said it had cleared up. And I couldn't have guessed that one. Frequency and volume are not the same. So you can turn the volume way down and still have the same effects. This is the summer CD, and I call this Buddha in the Marketplace. Everything is happening in this CD, whereas in these CDs, very particular events are happening in the hive that are particular to the season. This one, everything is happening. You're having the queen laying eggs, you're having them bring in water, pollen, making honey, bee bread, they're cleaning out the hives. So everything is happening here. And although it's a very busy CD, underneath it is also a very sound pattern and a spiritual elevation. This is where it gets hard, because this is a very, to speak of spirit is also a very, you run out of words. But all of these CDs will entrain you at levels that will bring you and hold you in spiritual dimensions if you choose to go there.